Look at these mother and daughter running away while they're noticing the things. They're sitting there and watching the protest. So you see the mother and daughter, they're sitting there and watching the protest with these people with the Palestinian flags. And they, as soon as they see things are about to escalate, the mother and daughter just run away. This is London, guys. This is London. And you see how the police can't do anything? The police couldn't do anything about it. This is like, they're just, the numbers are just too high. They are very aggressive. They're very high in number. And there's just not enough police force to deal with all of that. And they know it. And they know that they're intimidating. And they know that the police is afraid of them. Let's go to this next video. This is a Muslim in the UK giving a speech.
Every single Muslim must believe in the implementation of the Sharia. As we believe, Muslims, the Sharia is the solution to the problems of mankind. But you don't say, I want to implement it now when you're not even strong. You want to implement it now when you don't even have power. You want to implement it now when you don't even have support. You want to implement it in a Western country. If we want to see the Sharia being implemented, and we want to see the Khilafah of the Islam being existing, then we need to strive for it. But as long as we are sitting down, just talking, and not taking the practical ways to reach it, and not doing what we need to do, and starting from our own backyards, that's never going to happen.
Okay, so I need you guys to know these terminology. Okay, so Sharia is Islamic law. The Ummah is the Islamic community, or more accurately, the political community that in effect works like a block, like a power, like an ummah. That is a community of people that work as a political power. So that's the ummah, the Muslim community worldwide. And the Caliphate, how does he pronounce it? Because I'm saying the Persian pronunciation. Let me actually listen to this one more time. So the Caliph, you guys pronounce it like the Caliphate. It's the Caliphate, or the Caliphate, or the Persian translation is the Caliphate. You guys know it as the Caliphate. The Caliphate is the structure, is the governing structure of the Muslim community, which the Muslims have lost since Ataturk removed the Caliphate from the Ottoman Empire, right? So that's the Caliphate. It's the governing structure for Sunni Muslims. The governing structure for Shia Muslims, what they're trying to achieve, is called the Imamate, right? So the Caliphate or the Imamate. Sunni is Caliphate, Shia is Imamate. So let's listen to him one more time.
Every single Muslim must believe in the implementation of the Sharia.
So when he says that every single Muslim must believe in the implementation of the Sharia, that's a very key thing to understand, because this is part of Islam. So you know how people say political Islam and non-political Islam? There's no such thing as non-political Islam. There is such a thing as non-political Muslims, but he's arguing that you could takfir them, that you could announce them to be not Muslim. Because if you study Islam, you could see that Islam is political by nature. You have to accept that Sharia, meaning Islamic law, has to be implemented. You have to, as a Muslim, you have to be trying to make sure that Sharia is eventually implemented. You have to do your part, and that's what you have to want, because that's a commandment of Allah, if you understand the Quran and the Sunnah. And if you deny the commandments of Allah, if you deny what is necessary, what Allah has mandated, then you could be takfired as a Muslim. You could, if you don't try for it, you can't be. Takfir means like being announced as a non-Muslim. So maybe you don't have to do anything about it to remain a Muslim, but you cannot deny that this is what Allah wants, for all law to be Islamic law. Because if you deny any of Allah's the rulings, then that's you leave the fold of Islam. That's what he's saying, and he's correct about that. As a Muslim, you have to accept that this is God's command for all law to be Islamic law. So that's a key part to understand, and he's completely correct about that. I mean, I could go into more details about what he's saying, but he's now saying that you have to accept that Islam is political by nature, but every Muslim, so we could say like even Islam has political and non-political. That's false. Islam, all of it is political, but sometimes I say, but Muslims can be considered political or non-political. Well, that depends on your definition of a Muslim, because I agree, based on how us people around the world, how we define Muslims can be cut into two parts in that way, even though Islam can't. All Islam is political. However, according to the definitions of Islamic scholars themselves, no, you can't. If you deny the Islamic law, that the ruling of Allah, then you will leave Islamic fold entirely. So according to their definition, all Muslims have to be political. So that's the key concept that he's teaching here. It's very important that you understand all of these.
Every single Muslim must believe in the implementation of the Sharia. As we believe, Muslims, the Sharia is the solution to the problems of mankind. But you don't say, I want to implement it now when you're not even strong. You want to implement it now when you don't even have power. You want to implement it now when you don't even have support. You want to implement it in a Western country. If we want to see the Sharia being implemented, and we want to see the Khilafah of the Islam being existing, then...
So his pronunciation is Khilafah. Okay, so for some reason, in Persian, when you say these words, you pronounce the t sound at the end, but in Arabic, they just pronounce it like with eh. So English is Caliphate, Persian is Khilafat, Arabic is Khilafah. So without the t sound at the very end. So these are the three ways of pronouncing it.
Being existing, then we need to strive for it. But as long as we are sitting down, just talking, and not taking the practical ways to reach it, and not doing what we need to do, and starting from our own backyards, that's never going to happen.
Okay, so you have to seize power first.